Arcade Heroes.
Greetings, it's Adam with ArcadeHeroes.com, and we've got some interesting news to share today. As you can see on my screen, and from the title of the video, that Atari is coming back to arcades, and they're doing so through a company that I would say is not very well known yet because they haven't actually released a machine yet. They will be releasing their first game here soon, and it's one that I've covered on the channel before called Avian Knights. Originally called Jousting Heroes, but they changed that to avoid any legal troubles. It's essentially a new modern take on Joust. For up to 4 players. But Alan 1, they are run by people who are really big Atari fans. And they're actually based here in Utah, where I'm at. And they have set up a cabinet manufacturing facility out of Tooele, Utah, which is... I don't know the size of the city anymore. It's grown a lot since when I was a teenager and I worked out there. But yeah, they have a partnership with Atari, and so they're able to bring their Atari dreams to fruition here, as they have announced this partnership to bring 10 Atari Recharged games from the console to the coin-operated or pay-to-play arcade space. Now, if you're not familiar with the Atari Recharged games, these have been essentially reboots, remakes of various Atari titles. You've had Asteroid, Centipede, Black Widow, Missile Command, Yar's Revenge, Caverns of Mars. I think the most recent one was Berserk. They also did Gravatar. Not sure if there are 10 of them exactly. I should have counted, I guess, before recording. But if so, then I guess that would mean that eventually all 10 will end up as arcade machines. But I actually got off the phone with Johnny at Alan 1 as well as James. James is the CEO of Alan 1. And we discussed this a bit. Now, at this moment, I'm not able to unveil what the exact game is. But if you go to ArcadeHeroes.com, you can read the entire press release for yourself. There's some quotes there, not only from Luke Anderson, who's the chief game designer there, but also Ethan Zubek, the president of Atari. And yeah, it's pretty cool that Atari is making a comeback. Now, I should reiterate that Atari has licensed out to a couple of different companies in the past. For some modern arcades, there was a version of Breakout. The iPad version of Breakout was adapted into an arcade video redemption or videmption machine by Coastal Amusements back in 2016, I think it was. 2015, 2016, around there. I've never actually seen one of those out in the wild. I just saw it at trade shows, but I'm sure there's 1 or 2 out there. They also did the Atari Pong table unit with a Chinese company called Unis. Now, that was originally designed by a French company. I think they were called Calinifer or something close to that. Sorry, I probably butchered that. But I mean, the Atari logo has been out there on the scene in a few of these instances, and I have these games on my channel from different trade shows, and maybe you've even seen them or played them out there. But this effort is definitely a lot more significant, and with up to 10 games going to be hitting the scene as early as 3rd quarter this year, so end of summer, beginning of fall. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how it goes. Now, thanks to the fact that they are local to me, I'm actually going to have a chance to go and check out their facilities here. Probably by this Friday is when I'm going to do that. I was thinking about possibly going tomorrow, but it sounds like everybody's that I want to be talking with will be there on Friday. And so I'll see what I can unveil there. I do know what the first game is that they're going to unveil, but they asked that I don't unveil it yet. So stay tuned to this channel. Stay tuned to ArcadeHeroes.com for more news on that. One thing that I am able to say and it's here in the post, is that not only will Avian Nights be at the Allen One booth at Amusement Expo 2024 in Las Vegas, which is the trade show portion is starting on March 20th and goes to the 21st. But they will also bring the first recharged game there. Now, they did want to emphasize that it is an early build, and so that the artwork would not be final, and it may be missing some artwork at that point. But the render that I saw of the game, they're definitely aiming to make it look like the original machine, and I guess that's all I'll be able to unveil for that. Although most of the arcade or the Atari Recharged games are based on arcade games, just Yar's Revenge is Yar's Revenge and Caverns of Mars were not coin-op titles. But another thing that James emphasized to me is how these games are not going to be the same as what you find on the recharged home versions. They are going to be changed quite a bit, and that's not just talking about the hardware side, but the software and how they play. And so, like, details like how many shots are fired by your spaceship, or other little things that might make a difference that fit more with the original arcade, or like how many missiles are fired in Missile Command. Like, I can't remember what the difference was on Missile Command Recharged versus the arcade version, but yeah, just the little things like that will be different, and possibly some other changes to gameplay, maybe even graphically. But yeah, exciting to see an old stalwart from arcade history making a comeback there, because the Atari logo, other than those licenses that I mentioned, just hasn't really existed in the arcade space since Atari games got changed, or they got bought out by Midway in the late 90s, and then at some point Midway decided to change the Atari Games logo to Midway Games West. I think there was only one game that came out with that logo, like Gauntlet Dark Legacy, and then they decided to completely get out of the arcade space, Midway and Midway Games West, and so that was that. No more Rush 2049 or any of that stuff. But yeah, it'll be exciting to see where they take things on this. What would you like to see out of new modernized Atari arcade games? Would you like to see anything with an Atari logo that isn't based on one of their old IP, but maybe something brand new? That would be interesting as well. But stay tuned for more news on that. Also, stay tuned for a preview of Amusement Expo. So I'm putting that together on the blog. I'll be doing a live stream to discuss what's going to be there. I'll be doing that probably the day before, 2 days before I go to the show. And so there's plenty of arcade news coming up here soon. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.